It's now 6 o'clock right here on Big Breakfast. Today FM, today's hit music.
Hey, I'm Pauline.
And I'm Alan. Tune in to the Breakfast Show on Today FM with Pauline and I every weekday morning.
From 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
Today FM, today's hit music.
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Amrit Priyadarshini. Tonight, tourism continues to lead Fiji's economic boom. More time needed for national security policy. And hydroelectricity output down to 30%. The tourism sector continues to be our strongest performer according to figures from the Reserve Bank of Fiji. Deputy Governor Arif Ali, during a presentation on the status of the Fijian economy, highlighted the key areas of growth. Alan Stoltz reports.
The tourism sector can take much of the bragging rights for the economic boom we've been going through. In the first 6 months of 2015, there was a 10.6% increase in visitor arrivals.
Our forecast for this year in terms of visitor arrival was a growth of 5%. Based on the indicators that we see now, we will surpass the record that we achieved last year of 600 and just below 700,000 visitor arrivals. And I think tourism earnings this year will most probably be very close to 1.5 or slightly more than 1.5.
Arif Ali adds that there has been a lot of issues regarding leakage in the tourism industry. Some saying 60% of the earnings leave Fiji. But this, he says, is not true.
The 60% leakage is not correct. The leakage is actually 56%, and that leakage is called induced leakage. What induced leakage means is when the tourism earning is about 1.5 billion, the total contributions to the economy multiply effect is 3, so it becomes 4.5 billion. The leakage because of this 4.5 billion is 56%. So you cannot say when the tourism earning is 1.5, the leakage of that 1.5 billion is 56%. No. The leakage on that 1.5 billion is only 24%.
With increased infrastructure and construction work, cement production is up by 15.6%, as well as electricity production for the first 7 months of this year, which was up by 2.2%, as well as consumption by 5%. Ali also highlighted it was the first time in Fiji's history that investment to GDP is excess of 25%. He also said that private sector investment, which was 4.5% of GDP years ago, has now grown to 20%. Ellen Stalls, FBC News.
Fiji Electricity Authority is using only about 30% renewable energy to supply its customers. Chief Executive Hasmukh Patel confirms they're more reliant on diesel generators because of the dry spell.
Mona Savo and Nandari Vatu supply as much as 60% of Viti Levu's energy needs. But since the dry spell, we've been using millions of litres of diesel.
Around, say, April, May, FEA was mindful of the situation because the Met Department had predicted an El Nino situation, and therefore we went into a conservation of water mode. And we started to save water and started to burn more fuel.
The FEA forked out $180 million in fuel bills last year, the highest in the history of the company. But it's all in the hope that the long-awaited rain will come.
The idea is to conserve water. Whatever water we have at Mona Savu, we want to make sure that it lasts us for the next 3 to 4 months. Because we have been told, that this El Nino impact is likely to continue for the next 3-4 months.
Low fuel prices have helped keep costs low for FEA so far this year, as Mona Savo and Nandari Vatu continue to run below capacity.
For 7 months of 2015, also we have received below average rainfall. Now, where does that put us as far as Mona Savu and Nandari Vatu and our mini hydro schemes are concerned? We have been able to generate some electricity, during the beginning of the year and those 2 months, when we had above average rainfall.
Patel says consumers need to be responsible, particularly at this time. Light showers like these do not make any difference, but we can do our part by switching off electrical items when not in use. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
The National Security Strategy Review Committee has confirmed that the blueprint for a national security policy will not be tabled in Parliament this year. The document was to be tabled in Parliament last month, but Committee Chairman Esala Teleni says they need more time. Ali Kimbia has more.
Consultations were to be completed last month, but the committee feels it's vital for everyone to better understand the draft policy before it is finalized.
We have drafted some sort of strategy that we need to implement so that we maintain stability, peace and progress in our country. That is really what our next consultations is, to take to the people what we have suggested.
With the next phase of consultation to start off next month, Teleni says the document is still in a draft form and there is still room for changes.
After that consultations, whatever they are going to suggest or propose or amend or even to realign, we will come back and explore that and develop. Because after that, then we will develop the blueprint, the blue copy, which is the final copy.
The national security policy is being designed with the intention of maintaining peace and progress and also bringing long-term sustainability and security. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
A 74-year-old man from Yalalevuba has died when he was attacked by a bull when he took it out to the pasture. The incident happened on Saturday morning. And in another incident, a 16-year-old student was found lying unconscious near Senganga in Vanwalevu yesterday after he fell off the back of a carrier driven by his father. He is currently admitted at the Lambasa Hospital. Stay tuned. Coming up after the break, from rugby player to hotelier and now turned farmer, our successful Fijian segment profiles Tico Eastgate.
Ya bina pwede mwana topa chukuma ini mosi mga kena bula FM na bandu ene siri na hona ni ndende manda kei Central Rental Sapo peke de rusu na kuhita minichi me paa na koloko. Ni sabula.
Oya wa wati soni dalai.
Gonga ya mosi dono.
Nama kikirau bena tolu kena bitu. Ena via kabi moliti kena porombuka.
Gori ya na lali ne kabi. Bula FM na bandua ene siri.
Welcome back here with FBC News. Fiji is looking to rectify local legislation to meet standards of the Marine Pollution Convention to enhance maritime safety and security, as well as protect Fiji's marine environment. Savara Tambua has more.
Legislation has been drafted by the Maritime Safety Authority to implement the requirements of the Marine Pollution Convention. Involves oil, chemical, garbage and sewage pollution. MSEF Acting CEO John Tonindau says Fiji needs to protect its marine environment for the benefit of the tourism industry and the health of the public at large.
When I say sea-based pollution, is any waste from the ship to the sea. And also, that doesn't only limit itself to ship-based pollution. It also covers offshore platforms or offshore rigs when it comes to that, or offshore devices, and even pipelines, when the pipeline is actually laid on the seabed, terminated out to the sea. So it covers that.
MSEF is also focusing on the Bunker Convention dealing with insurance surrounding oil spillage at sea.
If there's bunker operation out at sea in Fiji waters, and there's a spill, it should be insured. So that the government has the resources to get from the ship owner to make sure that that spill can be contained and actually dealt with.
MSEF is looking at arranging understandings with various governments to make sure its staff is trained to a competent level. Savera Tambua, FBC News.
Trials of mushroom farming are being carried out at Lenga Lenga in Nandi. If all goes well, locally grown mushrooms will be sold widely as well as exported. Madhu Boletamana has the details.
Mushrooms are not a common item on many grocery shopping lists because they are currently imported and expensive. A group of Chinese technical officers hope all that will change soon.
Because Fiji is before it's not a mushroom eating country, so people are afraid to eat mushroom before. That's why we do a lot of work for promotion Like our mushroom we harvest, we doing a promotion, even we're doing a cooking demonstration in many places.
This mushroom facility at the Lenga Lenga Research Station in Nandi is the brainchild of the Agriculture Ministry and its Chinese counterparts. Lenga Lenga was chosen as a place to grow mushrooms given the weather conditions in Nandi, as well as taking into consideration the area of demonstration, marketing the product exportation.
Which can be benefit more people as the product we will supply the local Fiji people first, and then when the scale is extension we are focusing on the other places.
There are 6 incubators and cultivators that generate a total yield of 300 tons of fresh mushrooms annually.
It takes about 7 to 8 weeks time. It depends on the condition what you have. In here, normally we take 7 to 8 weeks time. The culture rule, the shortest one, you can take 4 days from the beginning until harvest, 4 days.
Production has already started and many people have shown great interest in buying mushrooms. There are plans to teach staff and stakeholders how to plant, cook and eat mushrooms. Madimbulay Tamana, FBC News.
Kiribati President Anote Tong says climate-induced migration is an avenue they will consider over the coming years. President Tong has clarified his stance on the high-profile case of Ioane Teitiota, who was deported from New Zealand earlier this week. Teitiota lost a 4-year fight to stay in New Zealand when his application claiming refugee status because of climate change was denied by the government.
Well, we really have not been talking about any refugees from Kiribati climate-induced migration at this point in time. I've been advocating about migration and relocation in time, but not at the critical stage at this point in time.
President Tong says the European refugee crisis is one the Pacific can learn from, given the worsening of sea level rise and coastal erosion forecast for the region. Growing up on a farm on Ngau Island in the Lomaiviti group is something Tiko Eastgate will never forget. In our successful Fijian segment tonight, Ali Kimbia tells us how Eastgate, a former rugby player, hotelier and carpet cleaner, made it big in the agri-based sector.
Successful Fijians is brought to you by the Fiji Development Bank, your partner in progress.
Farming runs in his veins. Tiko Eastgate's story traverses the Fijian countryside, eventually bringing him right back to his origins. While today he's a prominent farmer, starting out, Eastgate was well known for his innovation in the hospitality trade, turning a ship into the country's first floating restaurant.
I was fortunate enough to buy a carpet cleaning business. I started off with that and then got involved with the Lifeboat restaurant there in Suva, where Tapu now sits. And from there I was very fortunate to join up with Tony Phillips and Mary Samisoni and Joe Andrea and help kick the Hot Break Kitchen off. And from there I got involved in building the floating restaurant. It was the original Blue Lagoon cruise ship, the Lysianda, the one that Brooke Shield did her movie on. And we tore it apart and put a restaurant upstairs and a nightclub downstairs. We had that for 20 years. It was a very, very successful business for us.
Business savvy, Eastgate got out of the restaurant business and headed for the hills of Ngusi Sabu village in Naitasiri. With more than 200 acres of land at his disposal, he turned his skills to farming cattle and sheep. Now he has the biggest sheep colony in the country.
I just can't speak highly enough for all the possibilities there are in the commercial sector as well as farming. More so farming, because we have the land, we have the climate, so and the market is here, and I can't stress enough the beautiful lifestyle that you can get from farming, especially livestock.
It hasn't been without struggles. Eastgate highlighting there is a need for good infrastructure to push any business, be it farming, hospitality or otherwise. Eastgate says he started out young, trying to carve out his own business, and it's something anyone can do if they consider the opportunities right at their doorstep.
I've always dreamt, this is my passion, is livestock farming. I would have gone into livestock as a young man, but hotel was the thing at the time. So here I am. I'm back and doing what I wanted to do, and I started off with cattle and bought this farm up here in Ngusui Savu Naitaisiri, and we've been here since 1995. We've only gotten to sheep in the last 5 or 6 years.
Dabbling in new energy, Eastgate and his wife Mary built a dam beside their house, producing their own power from a mini hydro scheme together with a hydraulic water ram. Even with grooming a successful business, Eastgate made time for family, bringing up 4 children. Tico and Mary are now blessed with 5 grandchildren. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Successful Fijians was brought to you by the Fiji Development Bank, your partner in progress.
Coming up in sports, Timothy Nangusa joins squad in Wales. And Junior Farzan Ali wins main bout by knockout.
जहां हम आपको और भी सुंदर बनाते हैं और जहां स्वाद की सौगात भी है। नमस्कार, मैं हूं पल्लवी। सोमवार से शुक्रवार 9 से 12 तक रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन पर घर संसार में शामिल रहिए मेरे साथ। ऐसा सुंदर सपना अपना।
Leading FPC Sports tonight, France-based Timothy Nangusa has joined the Vodafone Flying Fijians camp in place of injured Wesea Levu. While he says it's always tough and sad to see a teammate injured, he is ready to help the side. Indra Singh spoke to Nangusa today.
The reports and updates of the Rugby World Cup is proudly presented by Vodafone, Power to You, and Airports Fiji Limited, creating new experiences, Fiji's gateway to the world. In association with FMF, the right choice. Total Exilium New Generation, the fuel that cleans your engine kilometer after kilometer. Sun Insurance, for Fijians by Fijians. Supported by Fiji Airways, Deluxe, Island Chill, Comfort Home Furnishing, Rooster Chicken, Legal Aid, Land Transport Authority, and Central Rentals.
A feature at all Rugby World Cup tournaments and the anti-doping fight saw all teams wear pink at training today, and amongst them Fiji's latest inclusion.
I'm excited to join the team. Just being here at this moment, I'm very thankful.
Having missed the international season so far, Nangusa is ready to play the role required by the coaching staff.
I'm more excited being here because how we're playing now, especially with how things are going right now. And hopefully come next week, we'll do greater things than the 2 last weeks.
Amazingly, the former Tai Levu rep was busy with club duties when he received the call-up.
Last week I was up in the mountains in the suites with Montpellier, and then I got a call on Friday to come over. I was very thankful. An opportunity for me is my first World Cup.
It's been a long time between drinks for Nangusa, but he is happy to be reunited with his international teammates.
Yeah, I was very happy. It's been a long time. Last time was November when I was with the boys in November tour. Walked in breakfast this morning, see the boys, very excited. I'm looking forward to the rest of the 2 weeks we'll be together.
One man's demise is another's gain, and now Nangusa gets a chance to play against Wales on Friday. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
One of the coaches behind the success of the Flying Fijian set piece plays at the Rugby World Cup says there is still more which needs to be done to get the desired results. South African Frans Ludike has been hailed as one of the best things to happen to Fijian rugby in a long time after being roped by coach John McKee. Indra Singh caught up with Ludike in Swansea, Wales.
This man has worked with some of the best players in the world and is showing in this World Cup with Fiji why he is such highly regarded.
Yeah, obviously, it's game for game. The last two games we were happy, that we really worked hard for what we got at the end, but it's a new challenge against Wales.
The Fijian set-piece plays have been great to watch, and he, along with head coach John McKee and scrums mentor Ellen Miwa, have been working hard to change the world perception.
It's an amazing time. It's really a blessing. Every day I just get encouraged by the way the boys just tackle sessions and how they play with their hearts. They give their all every week and every day and every session. That's all you can ask.
However, with so much already been put in, Ludiki says the job is not yet complete.
Yeah, I must say, all the hard work that we've put in Suva and building up to this competition, we had some reward, but the big thing is we still want the big reward, is to make sure that we get the end result. And we're getting closer every week. We're improving. The team also has a great belief and still a lot of energy. And it's early days in the competition. It's the second week. It's a vital one next week for us against Wales.
Similar sentiments have been echoed by Coach McKee.
But we can really try to look after what we can look after and really go after a top performance against Wales next Thursday.
So under the brilliant sunshine of Swansea in Wales, the team went through another tough session this morning as the backs did their things and the forwards worked on the areas that needs to improve further as they head into the match against Wales. It's going to be very interesting. And remember, as John McKee said, the next two games are very crucial for the Fijians. Interesting. FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, one player who is yet to make a starting appearance at the World Cup is just trying to help the team move forward. Josh Matavesi, who plays his rugby in Wales, says while he is disappointed not to have started, the team always comes first.
We're a little bit disappointed, but the good thing about the World Cup is there's always a game around the corner. So, we're pretty positive getting into Wales. We'll watch their game closely today against England and hopefully pick out a few weak spots.
He adds the kickers have been working hard trying to rectify the errors, and this will play a major part against the Welsh.
Yeah, it's a massive job. There's a lot of pressure, wins and loses game, so we've got to help each other as much as we can, as a team sport, and try to put as much pressure on each other as we can.
The Welsh rugby side has further weakened Fiji's chances of making it to the Cup quarter-finals with a 28-23 upset win over England this morning. Here are the match highlights.
And good work from the England fullback. Short side is Young. He's got him in again. Wales have just suffered as well in attack with just too slow in the ruck. With Jamie Roberts, draws the man, and away goes Lloyd Williams out of position. The scrum half on the wing, and here's Gareth Davis. He's picked it up and he's scored. What a try for Wales. They didn't need the adversity, but they now have a penalty. Wales just inside the England half. He'll never have a better moment to have more adrenaline in the body. Bigger, he's got it, it's there. We asked all week. Worry, little glance at the clock. He's all aware. They've done Wales are going to win this. They've done it. Bigger, off the field. Wales have done it. They have beaten England at Twickenham.
South Africa bounced back to winning ways after thumping Pacific Islanders Samoa 46-6. South Africa led 14-6 at the break but proved too strong in the second spell as Samoa's line-out woes cost them the game. Both teams have played 2 matches each, registering victory in one, while both teams have lost a match each. In another close battle today, Italy edged out Canada 23-18. Here are the tries from the match.
He's done well. One man to beat McLean. Hearn pins his ears back. Wow! The Canadians have blitzed it. But Canadians have targeted this game as Gorey goes straight through. Only Hirayama to beat Gorey. Brilliant. Here we go. Hearn. This is McKenzie from the other wing, and now Evans. Matt Evans all the way. There it is for Garcia. Italy back in the lead.
Australia plays Uruguay at 11 o'clock tonight, while Scotland takes on USA at 1:30 a.m. tomorrow. Ireland plays Romania at 3:45 a.m. You can watch the entire tournament live on FBC TV. Overcast conditions and showers were experienced in Fiji today. A trough of low pressure with associated cloud and showers remains slow moving to the west of Tuvalu and extends southeastwards over Fiji and Tonga. Meanwhile, a weak frontal system lies just north of southern Cooks and French Polynesia. Well, Mombasa was the hottest today, ending the day at 32 degrees. All other centres were in the 20s. For tomorrow, cloudy conditions and showers will continue around the country. And the outlook for Tuesday, occasional showers over most places. Southeast to northeast winds 15 knots, moderate seas. Recapping the main points, Reserve Bank says the tourism sector played a huge part in Fiji's economic boom. Fiji Electricity Authority reduces hydropower out to less than 30% due to prolonged dry spell. And Defence Committee needs more time to prepare national security strategy. Onto our poll segment. This week we ask, is the level of police visibility on the road satisfactory? You can visit our FBC website to take part. You can also send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page FBC News. If you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or #FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. Good night.